guys, how are you today? I hope you are fine. We are from group 3 and we would like to explain about code. And I'm Andi Hikmah. As the first speaker, will deliver the material about the definition of code. Generally, when we open our mouth, we must choose particular language, dialect, style, register, or variety. That is also called code. Because in sociolinguistics, code refers to language or variety of language, or any kind of particular system that two or more people use to communicate. So the simple definition of code is code means language. Some people are monolingual or use only one language code, but other people are bilingual or multilingual or use more than one language code. What is interesting is the factor that govern the choice of the particular code on a particular occasion. Why do people choose one code rather than another? Why do people choose to use code by mixing two of codes? And why do people and what about bring shift from one code to another? You will find the answer of the question after you watch all of the video. So keep watching.
Hello everyone, I'm Yulia as the second speaker. Here I would like to explain more about diglossia. Diglossia is a situation in which a community uses two different languages or varieties of a language for different situations. The ways it typically works is that one dialect or a language is used for a casual everyday interaction, and the different standard language is used for formal purpose. The variation of diglossia is divided into two types. The first is low variety. The dialect or language is used for daily interaction is typically low variety. It means that it's not formally learned, and speakers don't formally learn the grammar or write in that language. It learned as a spoken language. The second is high variety. The language is used for formal situation is high variety. It is the language that is learned at school or formally, and the speakers learn how to write in that language and how to learn in the formal grammar rules of that language. The example of diglossia is German-Swiss. In Swiss German country, the students will use standard German in their school because mostly the books and newspapers that they use in standard German. But when they get home, they will switch their language and use the local Swiss German in their home as a dialect on daily conversation. This often becomes the way of considering a potential relationship between diglossia and bilingualism. It associates the degree ideology model. This often becomes the way of considering a potential relationship between diglossia and bilingualism. It associates the degree ideal model. Maybe that's all from me, and next to the third speakers. Thank you.
Hello guys, I'm Chintya as the third speaker. Now we will discuss about bilingualism and multilingualism. Let's take a look to the definition. Bilingualism is the ability of an individual or the members of a community to use two languages actively. The example is children often adapt quickly to bilingualism if they use a language such as Indonesia, in their homes and a language such as English at their school. And there are two types of bilingualism. The first is coordinate bilingualism. Here, the individual learns the language separately, in separate environments, and maintain this separation after mastering the both. The example is a student who speaks one language at home, acquire via his parents and home environment, and then learns a second language at school in a classroom environment, and the language remains separate in his mind. The second type is compound bilingualism. There is no such dividing line, or the individual learns the languages in the same environment and context, and they are often used concurrently or even interchangeable. The example is Andi is a person who speaks Indonesian language very fluently. One day, she wants to learn an awkward Japanese in order to enrich her personal language and knowledge. Her teacher in Japanese course then gave a praise to her. I don't know how to say in Japanese. It is kunduran mobil. So, as a person who is natively Indonesian, she tends to think in Indonesia. Firstly, she translates each word into Indonesian to memorize the literal translation and to quickly compare it to the meaning and the structure. So, there are several benefits of bilingualism. The first is cognitive advantages, increased job opportunities, expanded travel experience, lower high school dropout rates, and development of skill in collaboration. Next to multilingualism. The definition of multilingualism is the act of using or promoting the use of multiple languages, either by a community or by an individual speaker. The example of multilingualism is there is one family. There are father, mother, and the son. When father using English language and then the mother using Indonesian language, but at the school the son using German language, so the son can use English language, Indonesian language, and then German language also. The reason for multilingualism is cause of migration, cultural contact, and the last is annexation and colonialism. There are two types of multilingualism. The first is additive. Learning of the second language doesn't interfere with the first language. And the second is subtractive. It is learning of second language does interfere or replace with the first language. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Anggun Citra, and here I would like to share about code switching. Did you ever heard code switching? Some people speak monolanguage or speak just one language, and other people speak two or more languages. They are called bilingual or multilingual. When they speak, they sometimes switch one language to another language, one language to different language. Nah, that is code switching. Code switching or language alternation occurs when a speaker alternates between two or more languages or language varieties in the context of a single conversation. Do you get it? Okay, let's move to the types and example of code switching. First is intersentential switching. In intersentential code switching, the language switch occurs at sentence boundaries. For the example is, we travel for work. Aku ingat waktu kecil keluarga kami sering berpindah-pindah karena pekerjaan orang tuaku. Or in English is, we travel for work. I remember as a kid our family often moved because of my parents' work. Do you get the idea? For the second types is intrasentential switching. The switching occurs in the middle of a sentence within a sentence. For the example is like, bisa nonton langsung Kimi Kicks Everybody's Us di satu-satunya balapan. Or in English like, can directly watch Kimi Kicks Everybody's Us in the only race. Do you get the point? Let's move to the third types. That is text switching. The text switching occurs at boundaries as an intensifying strategy to emphasize the utterance, hold listeners' attention, and move to the action forward. For the example like, gue ngerti dan tahu banget kenapa lo jatuh cinta sama mereka. Well, jatuh cinta or just want to do them. It is like, I understand and I really know why you fall in love with them. Well, fall in love or just want to do them. So, the speaker doing an hold listener attention. Do you get the point? And the last types is establishing continuity with the previous speaker. So the types is occurs to continue the utterance of the previous speaker. For example, it's like that. Speaker 1 said, "What a traffic! We will get out in the road." Then speaker 2 doing establishing continuity, like, "Yup, you are absolutely right. Setiap hari macet aja." Okay, that's all for me. Thank you for watching and see you.